Divorce changes everything. Where we live, how we parent, and all too often, where our children go to school. It's one of the most emotionally charged and legally complicated issues in family law: school relocation. This video draws from the work of family law attorney Randall J. Cioni and educational expert Dr. Derek Fries, whose joint publication, A Practitioner's Guide to Changing Schools, has become a critical resource to both lawyers and parents navigating these decisions. Because behind every motion to change schools is a child whose world is already being reshaped, and a parent desperate to do what's best. Let's start with the core question. What happens when divorced parents can't agree on where their child should go to school? In Michigan, it's not as simple as who has custody. The law looks deeper, digging into the child's educational environment, emotional well-being, and long-term stability. Randall Cioni puts it plainly. The decision to change schools after divorce isn't just a matter of convenience or geography. It's a legal and developmental crossroad. So, when can a school change even be considered? It starts with the joint legal custody standard. In Michigan, most divorced parents share legal custody, meaning both have an equal voice in major decisions like education. If they disagree, neither parent can independently switch schools without a court order. That's where litigation often begins. But before the courtroom, there's the educational evaluation. As Dr. Derek Fries emphasizes, a child's academic trajectory depends on more than test scores. You have to look at teacher consistency, peer relationships, extracurriculars, emotional support services, and community fit. A change might seem small to adults, but to a child, it can feel like starting life over. For courts, this question often comes down to one guiding principle: the best interests of the child. Michigan courts evaluate this through a series of statutory factors, but when it comes to school changes, a few stand out: continuity and stability in the child's education, the quality of the current versus proposed schools, each parent's level of involvement in academics, the child's emotional and social adjustment. Those aren't just boxes to check. They tell a story of how each parent supports the child's growth. Randall Cioni often reminds attorneys that these cases aren't won on grades alone. It's not about which school ranks higher online. It's about which environment allows this child to thrive. Let's take an example. Imagine a mother who moves across the country after a divorce for a new job. She wants her child to attend the nearby district school to avoid long commutes and give more time together. The father objects, saying the child is thriving in the current district, with friends, teachers, and stability that shouldn't be uprooted. Who's right? Legally, neither. At least not yet. The court has to weigh evidence from both sides. Maybe the new school has stronger support services. Maybe the old school offers advanced programs that align with the children's learning style. That's why educational experts like Dr. Fries play such a vital role. They can assess not just what looks better on paper, but what functions better for that particular child. In their publication, Cioni and Fries highlight how judges often look to comparative school reports, expert evaluations, and testimony from teachers or counselors to decide what truly serves the child's best interest. And that's where many attorneys and parents make their biggest mistake. They argue emotion instead of evidence. It's easy to focus on convenience or cost, but courts want measurable, child-centered data: academic progress reports, attendance records, counseling notes, and expert opinions. As Cioni notes, the parent who presents the most complete picture of the child's day-to-day reality, educationally and emotionally, often has the strongest case. It's also important to remember that changing schools isn't just a custody dispute. It's a developmental event. Children interpret change differently at different ages. An elementary student may struggle with identity and safety. A middle schooler may face social anxiety and loss of peer connection. A high schooler may resist entirely, seeing the move as a threat to their autonomy or friendships. Dr. Fries emphasizes that educators can spot these reactions early. A child's performance often signals emotional disruption long before they can verbalize it. That's why both authors stress the need for collaboration between attorneys, schools, and parents. When these professionals work together, instead of against one another, children experience smoother transitions and better long-term outcomes. Now, what about motive? Courts often ask, Why now? Is the school change driven by a genuine educational need, or by convenience, control, or retaliation? In other words, is this about the child or the parent? Randall Chioni's guidance is firm. Be honest about intent. If your reasoning is tied to logistics, finances, or spite, the court will see through it. But if it's anchored in the child's emotional and academic well-being, you'll have credibility. Another crucial layer is communication. Parents who document attempts to communicate about school decisions through respectful emails, parenting coordinators, or co-parenting apps show the court they are acting responsibly and in good faith. Those who don't often face credibility issues, even if their intentions were good. So, what can parents do right now before it becomes a legal battle? Start early. Research both schools. Talk to teachers and counselors. Gather data on curriculum, class size, and support services. If possible, schedule a joint meeting with the school's administration. It's one of the simplest ways to avoid litigation, and one of the most underused. For attorneys watching, remember, your best ally in these cases isn't just the law. It's the evidence you build around the child's experience. And for parents, know this. The court's focus isn't punishment or preference. It's protection. Protecting your child's stability, progress, and peace of mind. Changing schools after divorce isn't just a legal transition. It's a human one. Handled poorly, it can deepen conflict and damage a child's trust. Handled well, it can open doors to growth, new friendships, and a fresh start. Randall Chioni and Dr. Derek Fries remind us that at the heart of every case is a single truth. Children thrive when adults act in their best interest, not their own. If you're facing a dispute about your child's school, or if you're an attorney navigating these complex issues, the Chioni Group can help. With deep experience in both family law and education-related cases, Randall Chioni's team combines empathy, strategy, and expertise to protect what matters most: your family's future.